Here we go. Welcome, Average Joe Nation from around the globe. Props to you for staying up to date and keeping in the know. With fantasy football, man, very soon you'll reign. The knowledge that these three guys have, man, it is insane. Yeah, fantasy football talk hateful eight, they wear the crown. Hold it down. Pico, Blackburn, and Trimboli, hold it down. Pulling up to the recording studio, we're getting loud. Getting ready, headphones on, red light, go, break it down.
Welcome back to the Hateful Eight Fantasy Football Podcast with your host, Pickle. With me, not today, as we said in the Thursday primer show. Blackburn's out for the week. Some much-needed R&R.
Yes.
He'll be back next week. But it's with me, as always, this week, Triboli.
Back in the saddle again, baby.
I appreciate that that I have somebody, and I'm not just talking to myself.
That'd be no fun.
No. But today's show, the good, the bad, the ugly for Week 11. Some decent games, not a whole lot of great matchups. Not like, to me, there isn't very many like prime matchups, if you want to call it that, when looking over it. I mean, there really is, I hate to say it, but there really isn't any like games that you're just like, oh, great, I'm looking forward to this game this week. I mean, New England and Philadelphia, maybe. Kansas City and the Chargers, maybe.
I think that could be exciting.
But outside of that, I mean, the Rams, Chicago, I think is going to – it depends on which Rams offense. They're back at home, so it's kind of
maybe Cardinals, 49ers will get the repeat of what we saw last time, but the
maybe.
Two teams are – I mean, they're kind of banged up, so.
Yeah. You can follow us on all of the different social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For Twitter, you can follow us personally. I'm at jpickle.th8ff. Blackburn's at jblackburn.th8ff. And Trimboli's at ftrimth8ff. And the podcast handles the Hateful 8FF. Like we said, Facebook, Instagram as well. And then for your listening or viewing side of things for the show, we're on all the major podcast platforms. So Apple, Google, Stitcher, as well as the other platforms that are out there. So anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find us.
We are in your ear.
Everywhere. And then YouTube as well, and then DATV for the local Dayton access viewers on Spectrum. They have us 10:30 p.m. Friday, 4 p.m. Sunday, and then obviously the following week, it's throughout the weeks at different random times you can catch us. So trying to think if there was anything else I needed to say before we just went into it. I think we're good. Yep.
Just dive right in.
Dive right in.
The water's
All right.
warm, buddy.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
All right, the good, the bad, the ugly, presented by Trophy Smack. This is Week 11 for Trophy Smack. They have all the different types of fantasy football trophies, whether you want a belt or a championship ring. They have multiple tiered trophies for any of the sports: basketball, baseball, football, hockey, whatever you need. But with our promo code, if you purchase a trophy or a championship belt, you get a free championship ring. TH8FF ring, all caps. Once again, TH8FF ring, all caps. Get you that free championship ring. All right, so the first
get
game.
that thing fitted in my size.
That's mine, personal. If you win, you can have your own. We'll get it fitted for you. Don't worry.
I know. Mine would be baller. Straight blinging.
As we said in the last episode, Pittsburgh-Cleveland game. So this is the Sunday games and the Monday night game. First game out the gate, Dallas-Detroit. It's in Detroit. To me, it doesn't really matter because it's indoors.
No, exactly.
So it doesn't really change the weather spectrum. I will tell you, it's definitely a game-time decision, it sounds like, for Matthew Stafford. He was a late scratch last week.
Right.
I will tell you, if Detroit's quarterback is not Matthew Stafford, play the Dallas defense because they're going to get after the quarterback.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, I don't mind. I would be hesitant. I'd still probably play them against a injured Matthew Stafford, but I would feel much better playing against them in a streaming setup against the backup.
Yeah, whoever
it was. I think he was a
No,
Michigan
I'm just
grad. I forget his name. Anyways,
I'm
doesn't really matter.
I'm drawing blank, and I don't like that.
It doesn't matter. He's not good. So, so let's go on to the running backs. Are we playing either one of the? We're playing obviously Zeke. Are you playing J.D. McKissick?
Well, I am if Ty Johnson's out.
It sounds like he may be.
Or Ty?
It's Ty Johnson,
Okay.
from my understanding.
If Johnson is out, then yes, I'll play McKissick because I mean he got 10 carries and 7 targets. That's enough in a PPR format for me. But with Ty Johnson in there, if we got to split any of those, that's just you're not getting a lot of volume then.
Right. Well, here's the thing. When I was looking at it, Dallas is 23rd against the run. And over the last 2 weeks, like you said, in reference, if Ty is not playing, McKissick has led the Lions' backfield with 55% of the snaps, 23 touches, and 127 yards with 1 touchdown. So the touchdowns is the big issue for him. He's not getting the touchdowns, but he's seen enough volume,
Right.
especially in a PPR setup. Now, overall, for the year, the Cowboys are giving up around 24 fantasy points to opposing backfields over the last 3 games, average-wise. Well, they've also played Dalvin Cook.
Right.
So
This is a bad running offense in general. So I mean, those numbers will improve for the Cowboys.
Right. I just think that McKissick is a great sneaky play, as you said, if Ty Johnson for sure is not playing. That's the big thing for me.
Especially if you couldn't get on Brian Hill for Atlanta.
Yeah, where everybody rushed to get
Right,
him.
absolutely, which is a one-game play. McKissick now, I mean, depending on what happens, he could beat out Ty Johnson, and then you have a running back now the rest of the year.
Right, and that's what somebody asked me. I said, should I drop Breida because he's out for 2 weeks and pick up a Hill? And I was like, to me, I don't mind you doing that, but the problem is you're going to miss out on Breida, who to me I think has more higher value. And he said, but I can only play. He said he can only have 3 running backs on his roster based on the way that the roster construction is, and they can only play 2. So you basically have 2, and then you have a rotated in, like a bench play.
3, that's total?
That's total is all you can have. So his 2 running backs were starters, and Breida was his 3rd. So he was looking at somebody to play in a flex position potentially based on his bye week issues.
Well, his thing would be...
And he has Russell Wilson, who's on a bye.
Do you need this win? Can you punt a week? Because if you can... Because Brian Hill's probably maybe a 1-week play.
I would say the only reason why I give Brian Hill maybe 2 is because Freeman has shown in the past that he doesn't heal as quickly as other running backs coming off of general injuries. So maybe 2 weeks.
Okay.
So that's why I was thinking Breida's out potentially 2 weeks. Maybe you can pick him up in a week after you get off your bye weeks from this week. But
well, in that roster construction, you might be able to because guys can't roster that many.
So, anyways, but yeah. Now, moving into the wide receiver group, Amari Cooper, Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, Michael Gallup, we're playing all of them.
Correct. Michael Gallup, big time.
Ooh, gosh, he is just lighting it up this season.
We're skipping over one right here. I mean, we're going to go back to the Dallas Cowboy quarterback Prescott because I got another hot take here. He's going to be a top 5 quarterback this week.
He played lights out last week.
The Lions, listen, they're 27th in allowing points to the quarterback. I love Prescott this week. I think the Lions are going to be down with no Stafford this week. I think it's going to be a long game for Detroit.
I'm going to say he's top 3 potentially.
I love it.
Based on, I mean, literally, they're giving up an average of 21 fantasy points. They're literally 29th out of 32. And Prescott put some points on that board last week against a good Minnesota defense with pass rush and with a run game that was stalling. So he had to throw the ball. I don't think the run game is going to be as an issue this week. I think Zeke's going to have no problem running the ball.
Well, they're going to make an issue, I think, especially against a terrible run defense in Detroit.
And Jason Garrett, for the love of everything holy, quit calling plays. Like, you literally can tell when the ball goes, play calling goes from Kellen Moore's upbeat Boise State intuitive, like, crazy offensive, like getting the playmakers on the field, to Jason Garrett's 1992 offense that's run the ball up the gut, run the ball off tackle left, run the ball off tackle right. What? Zeke's still only getting like 1 yard per
defense or offense, I mean.
Zeke's getting 1 yard per carry. Oh, we got to get it, keep going. Let's keep running. I mean, you can tell when the offense is being ran by Kellen Moore versus Jason Garrett. And I'm telling you, Jason Garrett, it's going to cost you your job finally, because Jerry's not dumb in that sense where he can see who's calling it. And believe me, the Jones family can tell when the ball is being taken care of by Kellen Moore offensively versus Jason Garrett.
Right.
Spoiler alert, Jerry Jones was there during the 90s. He knows the offense. So, anyways, I'm just saying, I think Dak Prescott's a great play. I'm not playing Detroit's quarterback, Jeff Driscoll.
Driscoll, thank you.
Sorry, he was out of Florida. The backup is the Michigan grad.
There you go.
Sorry.
Either way, you're not playing either
you're not playing him. So running backs, we've got that figured out. Wide receivers, are we playing either one of the tight ends in this matchup? You got Hawkinson and old man Witten.
I'm not playing Hawkinson. I'll probably still hang on to Witten.
Well, I was going to say, Detroit's 22nd against tight ends. They're giving up almost 8.5. And Witten just finds a way to be fantasy relevant every week.
The problem is Randall Cobb has kind of slid into the mix now, and he's kind of eating away at Witten's targets. So if that, It's for me. It's kind of wait and see. But the problem is this week you're going to need tight ends. You're going to need tight end help. So for me, you can play Witten, but I'm not going to lie. It's a wait and see for the long term here, or at least for the rest of the season.
True. All right, defenses. We're streaming Dallas's defense.
Absolutely.
With Driscoll if he's playing. You're still streaming them if Stafford's playing, but you aren't expecting bigger numbers as you would with Driscoll being the quarterback.
Correct.
All right.
Quick question here. Why would anyone pick up the Detroit's defense?
I don't see why. I just think that if you heard what we just all said, the offense for Dallas is going to be a green light go.
Okay.
So I don't know how you could feel good about playing
Unless
them.
I'm sleep deprived, did you see that Detroit's defense got picked up in our league of record? Just saying. Moving on to more important topics.
Anyways, all right, next.
I'm picking the boys.
Okay, Dallas Cowboys. I know Blackburn also picked Dallas, so I know that was as hard as.
Yeah, he's crying a little bit inside.
But it's okay. So we're all picking Dallas. Next one, Jaguars Colts. I think this could be a decent game, but
It all depends on what Colts quarterback we get.
right. All right. So quarterback wise, we've got potentially either Brissett or Hoyer. We're not really sure still. It's probably going to be a last-minute game-time decision. Maybe this weekend we'll find out. But on the flip side, the quarterback for Jacksonville is one Super Bowl winning quarterback, Nick Foles, coming off of the IR collarbone situation. Are we happy to play him this week?
No, Indianapolis is still tough.
Right.
But I mean, like I said, if you have to and you're in a pinch, I'd rather play Foles, over either quarterback, I think, for Indianapolis right now.
Yeah. On the flip side, Leonard Fournette for me is a top 7 running back this week. He's just proven. Even the matchup's not great. They're Colts are 8th against the run. Leonard Fournette is the only running back in that backfield. I mean, Armstead's there just in case he needs a breather or he gets or to get hurt. Knock on wood. But on the flip side, Leonard Fournette is just a beast this year, and he has been a happy fantasy running back to have for all the naysayers and doubters that were in there.
Really, to be honest with you, I think the running backs on both sides are the shining points here. I mean, because I'd play Marlon Mack too. I wouldn't expect a ton out of Mack, but
well, the Jacksonville defense is worse against the run. They're 21st, so they're a little bit better matchup, and they're giving up just shy of 20 points. So I think Marlon Mack's still a great play this week. I think he's an RB2, low end RB1, high end RB2, like he is every week. But I think that Leonard Fournette's a top 7 running back this week. Even against a bad defense, you just can't not play him. Wide receivers in this one, we're going to go with the Colts. Not sure who's playing out of that offense outside of I'm looking to see who injury-wise is not injured. Pascal's about the only one that I know that's healthy. Paris Campbell may or may not be playing. He's not practicing right now. T.Y. is not practicing right now. Devin Funchess is practicing right now.
Yeah, don't care.
But he's the all right. Never mind.
Pascal's about the only one I'd roster, but I'm not even doing that. I'm not even doing that.
So
I'm actually avoiding this game, like I said, outside of the running backs and maybe Nick Foles.
What about DJ Chark coming off of a bye week? He gets a quarterback that is going to throw the ball.
The problem is that they've not built that relationship. Minshew did.
Right.
So is it going to be Foles likes to throw the ball around? So is it going to be Conley? Is it going to be Westbrook? Is Westbrook even back?
I haven't heard that he is active.
Okay. Well, so with Westbrook then being out, I mean Conley, Chark. I mean I still think Chark's a better wide receiver, but we don't know if that relationship's there like it was with Minshew.
Looking at D.D. Westbrook, he is active at this moment, but we'll see how that goes. DJ Chark, I think, is a play. I think he's a top 14 wide receiver this week. I don't think he's like a top 12. I mean, he could be, but I'm not banking on that. I'm banking on somewhere in that 13 to 15 range. Somewhere, I think he gets double-digit points, but I think it's based off of he gets a touchdown and some yards. I don't think he gets heavily targeted right now, right out the gate, like he was with Minshew. And that's what you're kind of saying, that the relationship between the quarterback wide receiver has not been made yet to feel like he's going to get heavily targeted. But on the flip side, if he's pretty much the only wide receiver out there.
Yeah, well, that's just it. And the Colts are tough against wide receiver.
They are. So. I mean, they're top, They're 14th, so they're only giving up 20 to the wide receiver position overall, but still. Until I see differently, Chark, you're probably playing him as your wide receiver 2 or flex this week.
And it's all about this is a show me game. If he sees all the targets or a big chunk of the targets, then Chark going forward is definitely the play. Now, if Minshew was in there, you knew Chark was the play.
Right. Now Colts, tight ends are playing Ebron or Doyle or both or what? Because they have the same matchup, obviously. So
Right.
it's a matter of who. Because to me, with Hoyer, it's Doyle.
Yep.
With Jacoby, it's Ebron.
True.
So it's who's quarterback. So just spoiler alert, whoever the quarterback is, that's the tight end that you want to play.
That's the
attached
best way
to
to
him.
put it. But I'll tell you what, Doyle's still the possession guy, and in this offense that's kind of sputtering right now, I'd rather have the possession guy.
And then Josh Oliver is the tight end for Jacksonville right now. So no,
yeah.
thank you.
No.
Who are we picking
pass.
in this one? Colts, Jags.
I'm taking Jacksonville.
I'm picking Jacksonville just because I think the offense is going to be just enough to be good. And I know Blackburn is a lone wolf on this one. He picked the Colts.
There you go.
So
it's basically it's almost a
it's a
Vegas
wash
got it
to me. I
as.
mean, both offenses are going to be okay. It's a matter of which defense can hold.
Colts favored by 3 because they're at home.
Right. That's not usually good because I think they give them a couple points just because they're the home teams.
They do.
All right. So then the next game we've got is going to be Buffalo, Miami. It's in Miami, so the weather's going to be nicer than it would be in Buffalo.
Everything's nicer in Miami over
right.
Buffalo. Sorry, Buffalo.
Quarterbacks. We're playing Josh Allen this week. Let
Absolutely.
him ride. It's a great matchup for him.
Can you run the ball, Josh Allen, just a little bit
Just a
for
little
me?
bit. Just a little bit.
I mean, listen, your numbers have been great, but they could blow up if you just run it a little bit.
True.
But it's hard when you got that Singletary just tearing it up.
Right. Now on the flip side, quarterbacks, Fitzpatrick, Rosen.
No on Rosen. Just say no to Rosen.
Just say no to Rosen. I feel like that was at like high school PSA that you say
Yeah.
no to drugs. For the dare thing, it would say no to Rosen.
Listen, Fitzpatrick gives you the biggest upside if you're going to play one. But problem is you don't even know if he's going to make it all game. So I wouldn't play
Right.
either Dolphins quarterback.
Now it is a revenge game, but most games are revenge games for
Fitzpatrick,
Fitzpatrick because
yeah,
he plays
he's
everybody.
played for everyone.
Right. So I know I saw somebody say it's a revenge game for Fitzpatrick. I'm like, well, technically a lot of games that he plays in are revenge games because he's played for almost every team. So
He's a journeyman.
he is. Now on the other side, running backs. We've got Buffalo. We got Singletary and
Yes.
Gore potentially, but
No.
Singletary is the one that I think you want going forward. Great matchup. Miami is literally dead last. They're giving up just shy of 26 fantasy points.
Yes.
So
Load up Singletary. He'll be a great play this week.
on the flip side, running backs for this one, I think that as odd as it is, and it's in my sneaky plays this week, Kalen Ballage. He's the healthy back. Somebody's got to get the ball.
Right. And I want to listen. I'd love to argue
Subtraction
with you
by
here.
addition.
I'd love to argue with you here, but he got 20 carries last week. I mean,
It didn't do much, but
I don't care. Fall forward.
Right.
3 feet. Give me a couple yards each carry.
right.
Maybe fall once in the end zone.
Let's see. Last week, 24 touches. Yeah.
It's hard to find a back that's getting that every week, or that could get that.
But I will tell you, in the last 4 games, the Bills are giving up 172 total rushing yards, or 172 yards total to the running back, and one touchdown per game. So they're giving up a touchdown and 72 total yards over the last 4 games. So not bad.
If he can catch the ball in the backfield, that'll be the biggest upside for him.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, Kalen Ballage is still a flex play on a bye week pinch.
Right.
But now on the flips for wide receivers, Devontae Parker, he's relevant.
Yeah.
Finally.
With Fitzpatrick, he's relevant.
Finally.
Only with some injuries, that also helped him out.
That's also true.
Problem
What do we
is-
think the
problem is
ceiling?
the Bills are tough.
True. They're 6th against wide receivers, only giving up a total of just shy of 18 fantasy points. But there really isn't anybody else in that wide receiver group that you're going to play for the Dolphins.
And Parker seeing, again, double-digit targets. He had 10 last week, 5 receptions for 69 yards. I mean, in a PPR scoring, that's 11 points. So
Right. Buffalo, are we playing John Brown this week?
yes,
Cole Beasley.
yes,
Okay, just checking.
load them up.
You have to, because I just think that you're if you don't, you're missing out on a potential big play. And I was just looking back at Beasley's stuff. He scored 9 fantasy points in all but 1 game this season. And he's had in 3 consecutive games he's had a touchdown. So
I just feel like the Bills need a big win, and they
their
need a
corners are
dominant
bad,
win.
and their slot corner is their
Right.
worst. So looking at that,
Dude, they're on the road and favored by 6.
yeah.
That shows something. I just really like Buffalo all around this week.
Are we playing Gesicki? Yes or no?
It's a bad matchup, but again, he's seeing a ton of targets.
Him and Parker.
Yeah, he saw another 6 targets last week. Listen, if you're in need of tight end, or I'd give him a whirl, but don't expect a ton out of him.
Yeah. And then Buffalo's Dawson Knox. Yes or no? Great matchup, but
No, I just can't trust him yet.
all right. Buffalo or Miami? I'm picking the Bills. Blackburn picked the Bills.
Clean sweep.
All right. And then next game we've got is Denver, Minnesota. So it's in Minnesota, so it's indoors. Good thing for the Vikings. Home game, coming off of a big win in Dallas. So Denver, are we playing the quarterback?
No.
Okay, just checking. Just making sure you gotta throw those out there because sometimes
He
people
didn't
would
look. Listen, he wasn't terrible in his first start, but
No.
I just don't trust him enough yet.
no. And they're middle of the road. Minnesota are.
Right.
But still. And now on the flip side, obviously, are you playing good old Kirk this week? He had a big game last week.
No.
Okay, bad matchup. Denver
Yes.
is actually pretty good.
Right. Yeah. Denver. Yeah. Denver ranks at the top for.
They're only
points
giving up
allowed. Yeah.
12 fantasy points to a quarterback that tends to struggle when he gets pressure in his face.
Well, I was gonna say that's the problem is he's gonna have quick feet this game, and there could be some turnovers or errant passes.
Now, Dalvin Cook, playing him. Even though it's a bad matchup, you're still playing
We don't even
him.
got to talk about that.
And then
The
are we
GOAT.
playing either one of the backfields running backs for Denver? Lindsey?
I play Philip Lindsay.
Okay. I feel better playing Lindsey over Freeman, but
It's like I mean, in PPR, it's all about what you catch out of the backfield. Lindsey's the only guy making anything happen like that way. So for
Right.
me, it's Lindsey all the way.
now for Denver's offense is not a complete sham of a wash for this week.
No.
I love Cortland Sutton this week.
I like Courtland Sutton every week right now.
Minnesota's 25th against wide receivers. He's probably going to see Xavier Rhodes, but as Murray Cooper has shown and other wide receivers, Xavier Rhodes is off his game this year for some reason.
Right.
So, and he's getting mentally frustrated, and you can tell by about a quarter of the way through the game, he's now peeved off, and he's halfway trying. And I think that this is how they're going to have to be successful, passing the ball with Lindsey, passing the ball to Cortland Sutton, running the ball with Lindsey to stay in this game. Because I think this offense with Minnesota may struggle early, but I think they're eventually going to round the corner, and Dalvin Cook's going to take them home. So
Right. Well, in Vegas sees it as looks like a running game because over/under is only 40, so not a lot of points there.
No. Now, Stephon Diggs, not a great matchup. Denver's third against wide receivers. Probably going to get Chris Harris a lot. But it doesn't sound like Thielen's playing. So it's
Well, you assume it's Diggs, right? You cross your fingers, you shake that lucky 8-ball, rub your rabbit's foot, whatever it is. But still, somehow he ends up with 3 catches for 40 yards. So,
all right, guys. Just to let you know, if I'm playing Diggs, he's going to do bad.
So what are you doing?
I think I'm going to have to bench him this week. I just don't know about the matchup.
Then
I'm
you
concerned.
play Diggs.
Play Diggs this week.
Diggs is a play. Top
he is.
10 guy.
Top 10 potentially.
Heck, he's number 1.
Might be. Now, obviously, that's pretty much the only wide receivers. I mean, you could roster some of the other Minnesota wide receivers, but
no.
probably not. Just looking at, I was trying to see if
Noah
I
Fant came to life last week.
finally with a young quarterback.
I mean, was it 3 receptions, but he had 115 yards?
Yeah.
He did some work on
Yeah.
that one play.
Now, Kyle Rudolph, not a great matchup, but he has been hot of late. Are we playing him this week?
I think you have to pick him up, but I'm not playing him.
Okay. On the flip side, Noah Fant, pretty much the same matchup. Had a big week last week.
Again.
If you had to play one of them, who are
Oh
you
my
playing?
Gosh, why do you have to say that
Just
to me?
saying. Just saying. You have to ask in this because there are some bye weeks going on and some injuries this week. And if you don't have guys like Travis Kelce or Hunter Henry,
Rudolph.
all right.
I don't feel good saying that.
Do you need a
Getting
Pepto?
sick.
You okay.
Getting sick over here.
I
I mean,
all
I
right.
just think because if Thielen's out, the opportunity's there.
All right. Denver wise, defensively, are we playing them? Yes or no this week? Stream.
I think you can stream him.
Even against a Dalvin Cook offense?
I think so.
All right. On the flip side, Minnesota's defense, streamable this week.
Yeah. I mean, neither defense is going to give you a ton of points.
No,
They're not
you're
turnover
probably-
heavy.
You're probably going to get like 6 to 8 fantasy points out of these defenses. Either one of them be
Right.
happy, honestly.
It's just one of those things. Like if you didn't want to drop a defense or drop anyone, I mean, because you don't want to waste a transaction or something,
Right.
you could hold on to him and play him. It's not a big deal.
All right. Who we picking? Denver, Minnesota?
I am going with the Vikings.
Yeah. After seeing
Clean
them
sweep.
come in and do what they did against Dallas's team in general, I have a hard time picking against them rest of the season.
I agree.
I mean, going into Jerry World is a big thing, and then also doing what they did offensively and defensively. I have a hard time against a lesser opponent in Denver not picking Minnesota. So Blackburn also picked the Vikings.
We keep agreeing. I knew it was going to be this kind of week.
Yeah. New Orleans, Tampa Bay. New Orleans coming off of a loss. That's right, a loss against the Atlanta I can't find a win Falcons. They
Well,
found one.
New
And
Orleans couldn't do
steamrolled-
anything right.
They steamrolled over that New Orleans offense and defense. As a
It-
whole, they just looked abysmal. They
looked
didn't look like they
terrible.
arrived.
No.
So-
it was bad.
So Tampa Bay and New Orleans. So it's in Tampa Bay. So it's an outdoor game, which typically means no good for Drew Brees because he does not play well
Right.
outside of the
It gets a
dome.
little windy,
You know, old
his
man.
passes just
Old
kinda
man, you got that
sail.
arthritis stuff going on. It is what it is.
You can tell when it's raining
Right.
before it rains.
I think there's rain coming. What? All right, but we're still
What's that
playing.
band called? The Copper Band? He's got that rocking.
Get in on that with Brett Favre. I know it's Brett
His
Favre.
jorts.
Yeah, and his jorts. Anyways, Drew Brees, I still think he's a top 10 quarterback just because Tampa Bay's defense is awful against the quarterbacks.
I'll give you the QB1.
Okay.
But yes, and that's what's sad to say because Tampa Bay is awful against the
They're good
quarterback.
at 24 fantasy points a
Yes.
week, but I don't know. Brees just seems to be not himself post that injury.
No, I
For
agree.
whatever reason. I don't know if it's psychological or if it's like he's just knocking the rust off or what.
Well, the offense just didn't look good either. I mean, Kamara didn't look that great. to be
No,
honest with
coming
you,
off of
so-
a bye week with and also being supposedly healthy.
Right, yeah, quote unquote.
Right. Jameis Winston, is this a week that you feel good about playing him? It's a middle of the road defense in New Orleans, but Matt Ryan showed you the blueprint to beat this defense, and Marshawn Lattimore may or may not play, and that's the big one.
And I do. I think Winston's going to be okay. I think he's going to be a QB1 this week, so
right.
I'm okay with
I would
playing
say
him.
he's probably in that 12 to 13 range for me this week.
Yep.
Running backs, obviously, you're playing Alvin Kamara. It's a bad matchup. Tampa Bay is giving up single-digit points weekly to the fantasy football position for running backs. But you're not benching Kamara. You've held him
No.
this long. You've had him this long.
You're just not playing Latavius.
No. Now, on the flip side, Rojo. How comfortable are we playing Rojo this week? It's not a great matchup either.
No, and
They're number 2, where New Orleans or Tampa Bay's 1 against running backs. New Orleans 2, only giving up 13 fantasy points.
I still think you're playing Rojo because of the volume. I mean, he'll get enough touches.
Yeah, I just think that he's probably he's probably a middle of the road RB2 this week.
Right.
Probably in that 17 maybe to 20 range. He should get you double digits, but he's not going to get you a 20-point game or a 15-plus point game this week. I'm thinking in that 10 to 12 range. So,
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
wide receivers in this one, Michael Thomas. Tampa Bay is the worst against, which coincides with Drew Brees's, but I think Michael Thomas, he is fantasy lore when it comes to wide receivers. I think he is the new king of fantasy wide receivers.
Load him up.
Sorry,
Load up the other side.
Hopkins,
too.
sorry, Julio,
Yeah.
some of these other guys that have been the top of the creme de la creme the last couple of years. Michael Thomas, I think, is the fantasy football wide receiver you want to have week in and week out now.
Yep.
So he wasn't drafted like it, but I
Right.
think he may be the wide receiver 1 next year going to 2020 drafts.
You're also going to load up Evans, load up Godwin.
Oh, yeah. You're not those guys are both wide receiver 1s again this week,
Okay.
especially with Lattimore potentially being hurt and or not playing.
So let's get down to the nitty gritty then.
No, I'm not playing O.J. Howard.
He came back to life, though.
He played in a revenge game for Bruce Arians to prove it, to stick it to them. He is not anything worthwhile.
He saw 7 targets.
Bro, he could have saw 15, 150, and 3 touchdowns, and I'm still not playing him this week.
Me neither.
No.
I was just seeing what you'd say.
Negative Ghost Rider.
But are you going to play the other side? Jared Cook? Little Cook action?
I think he's a streamable tight end this week, yeah.
Absolutely. The Buccaneers are second. They give up the second most points to the tight end. You give me Cook.
Or sorry, they give up just over 12
Hey,
fantasy points.
10
Do it.
targets. I love double-digit players.
Just saying, you can't not play him this week. So,
God, O.J. Howard is so bad.
he's just it's just like he's that piece of candy that you're like, I like candy, but I don't know if I like this kind of candy. And
Listen, I'm a Laffy Taffy fan. It's like opening up that bag and they're all
Yellows?
banana.
they're all the yellows, or what's the other color that I absolutely just
Orange. I can't
orange.
stand
Gosh, I'm just saying, it is. It truly is. It's like looking at something that you know you have to have for a week. Like if you're dealing with injuries or bye week issues for the tight end, but you're like, gosh, I'd much rather. I think I could leave it open and still get the same fantasy points.
It's like ice cream. If you drop it on the ground, you going to pick that up?
No.
O.J. Howard? Now, it's Jared Cook? Yeah, I'm all in it.
Yeah,
Give me those limp bunnies and everything else.
I'll take whatever's on the ground that it just rolled into. But
At least this week.
I don't know. I need a couple weeks of consistency from O.J. Howard to feel good about playing him.
I agree.
So defenses, are we playing either one of them?
No.
No. All right, who are we
It's
picking?
a hard pass.
Right. Defense, or who are we picking? Are we picking Saints, Buccaneers? Who are we playing?
I have the Saints.
I have the Saints as well, and Blackburn picked the Saints. I just think that offense does enough, and the defense does enough. It comes down to which defense. I know it's cliche can stop the offense more times than not.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, we all think Breeze can come back to life, and if he does, he'll probably come back in a big way.
Yeah.
Should be a Saints.
All right, and then next one, Jets, Redskins. Both teams are struggling. Apparently, Sam Darnold is, I don't know what he's on, but he apparently thinks that they have a playoff potential. So, it's in Washington. So either way, whether it's in New Jersey or in D.C., it's still going to be probably cold and bad weather.
Yeah,
But-
I think the ghosts follow him, though.
No, this defense
No.
is trash.
Not in Washington.
Blackburn would agree that this team in general for the Redskins are bad. I will tell you, though, a sneaky start this week, potentially Darius Geis if everything goes according to plan.
You
I
like
know
guys, huh?
I'm not saying that you play him to know that you're going to get 20-some fantasy points, but he's not a bad – I think he's up there with a McKissick, a Balaj, where you play – or even a Kenyon Drake, someone up there that's – it's not the best offenses that they're on.
Right.
However, you know that they're probably going to get enough volume to be relevant. My only concern is we need to find out what we're doing with Adrian Peterson. If Adrian Peterson is active, temper your Geis expectations. But Bill Callahan has made it very clear they want to see what they got in Geis. So to me, that sounds like 10 to 12 touches at least.
Well, and see, I actually see it the exact opposite. I see what is Geis going to take away from AP.
Okay.
I think AP has shown that he's the better back there right now. Guy's coming off an injury. Listen, he's the better pass catcher by far. I'll give him that. But I still think AP is going to lead the way. And they're not playing for anything right now. I get they want to see what Geis has to offer. But I still think AP right now is the guy.
All right.
But again, if they're both getting touches, that's eating away from each other, neither one's going to be relevant.
Right. Quarterbacks in this game. Are we playing good old Sam Darnold? It's not a bad matchup.
It's really not.
I mean, it's a middle of the road. It's middle of the road, but I mean, they're 19th. Washington is against quarterbacks. So, if you're needing a quarterback to stream, he's not a bad matchup this week.
I just think there's better options out there. But
Oh, yeah.
if you feel like you need for a little Sammy in your life, then you go after it.
Now, Dwayne Haskins does have a very good matchup.
That's fantastic.
Still not playing him.
No.
Now, running backs, we talked about Le'Veon Bell. I think
Yes.
this is a good matchup for him.
Absolutely.
I think you're going to have to, I mean, I hate to say it, but you're going to pretty much play Adrian Peterson as an RB2 this week, and you're going to play Darius Geis as a flex this week. And that's your best option.
Right.
If you're going to play them in there where I think they're going to finish, I guess.
It's just unfortunate because you don't know which way it's going to go.
It could go south very quickly with Adrian Peterson where they are behind, and now they're having to throw the ball, and Geis is catching the pass.
Yep.
Wide receivers in this one, Terry McLaurin is about the only one that I want for the Redskins, and that's not saying much because I think it's a bad day for that offense. But the matchup is great for him. But with Dwayne Haskins, I'm just not 100% sold on this offense.
Well, I think Blackburn would agree with us here. If Case Keenum was the quarterback, I'd be all over McLaurin. But with Haskins there, you don't really know what you got. I think it's a young quarterback. He's still developing. He's struggling.
Yeah.
So I don't really want any piece of that.
Yeah.
I will say, my boy over here, Crowder. I want all about that. Last two games, 15
You're the
targets.
Jersey Crowder, all
Listen,
about that?
15 targets, 163 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You give me that.
Yeah.
He's back to his old form now with Sam Darnold, fully healthy.
Yeah.
Not seeing guys.
Robbie Anderson seems to be gone off. He disappeared.
It's a one-trick pony, and unfortunately, I thought it would work out, but it's not.
No Chris Herndon. He's hurt. He's done for the season.
He had a good one game
Right.
/ quarter /
Washington not playing their tight end either.
no.
So
And there's Thomas. Don't forget about him. He's sneaking in there and getting some touches.
he's kind of like a Crowder light. He's a reception guy. He's not a big home run threat like Robbie Anderson, and that offense needs just dinking and dunking.
Well, and you got to treat him like a tight end. You hope he gets you hope he gets the volume, and then sneaks that tight end or that touchdown in there.
Right. Now, I know it's bad. I'm just gonna tell you, I'm not until I see something different. I'm playing the Jets. I just can't pick Washington, and it's not because I'm a Cowboys fan. It's because with Dwayne Haskins, I just think there's too many issues.
Did he take the Redskins or the Jets? He did.
He did.
Listen, if Case Keenum was quarterback, I'd be
give him a
all over
better
the
chance.
Redskins.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Jets.
All right. Falcons, Panthers. Quarterback wise, obviously Matt Ryan. I think he's a QB1 this week, even though it's not a great matchup. He's shown that he can go in and play. He's good to go,
Right.
health wise. Flip side, Kyle Allen, great matchup, and it's outdoors. It's a home game, so it's back home for Carolina. I think that this is a good matchup for him. I think he's a better play than not Jared Goff, but I think I think Kyle Allen is a better play than some of the guys that we mentioned.
He's a better play than Sam Darnold.
That's what I was gonna say. Sam Darnold, Dwayne Haskins,
Brissett.
Brissett. Right. I just think that he's up there. He's right outside the top 12 for me. It's just the matchup's too good to pass up if you're needing a quarterback to play this week.
Right.
But I mean, there's a couple quarterbacks that I'm guessing probably maybe one. See, the thing is, the quarterbacks I have ahead of him, I know for sure are not on waivers right now. That's the thing. I think he's probably the best quarterback probably available on waivers at this point for the week. Does that sound bad?
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
So, because you're not probably playing Nick Foles, you're not playing Ryan Finley, you're not playing Mason Rudolph, obviously this week. You're not playing Driscoll, Dwayne Haskins, Fitzpatrick, Brandon Allen for Denver.
No.
So,
No.
all right.
Well, you're not even playing Carson Wentz.
No. Just kidding. That's a bad matchup for him.
Yeah, he plays.
I just
New
realized who he's playing. Never mind.
You can play him all you want.
No, I'm good. Running backs in this one. Christian McCaffrey back to form. He still showed that he is the best running back in fantasy football.
Yes.
I think Dalvin Cook is right behind him, though. I mean, I think it's like 1A, 1C, not 1B, because I think that there's enough of a gap between him and Cook, but it's not a giant gap, if that makes sense.
There's a giant gap after that.
That
though.
one, yes. I don't know. Josh Jacobs is climbing that. He's climbing
I
back.
really
He's
like
climbing
Josh
into that
Jacobs.
group. Just saying, it could be a three-headed monster at the end of the year.
I'm
but,
more upset I didn't buy more into him earlier in the year.
Now, on the flip side, Atlanta's running back Hill. Obviously, we're playing him.
Yes.
He is
The matchup is too good.
too good, and he's pretty much the only guy.
Yeah. It's like looking behind you and no one there. Literally,
Right.
there's no one there.
Right.
So, and Brian Hill, he's shown flashes of being a decent player here. But then again, like I said, you got to play the matchup.
Right. And I think he's an RB2 this week. He's a high-end RB2.
Know that he's a 1 or 2 week rental. When
Right.
Freeman's back, it's his backfield.
Wide receivers in this game, you're playing Julio, obviously. You're playing DJ Moore in this one. You're even playing Curtis Samuel in this one.
Yep.
And to me, I hate to say this, Calvin Ridley is not a play this week for me. The matchup's too bad. It's not a good matchup, and I think that Atlanta's going to have to be playing from behind because I think this offense, Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Allen, is going to put the ball in the end zone a lot.
I agree with you, but I think with Hooper out, the ball's going to go somewhere.
That's my thing. I think it goes to Julio more. Red zones. Opportunity.
I think Julio's definitely the much better play. I think Ridley's going to see a little bit of maybe the garbage
Right.
stuff.
But I'm not putting him in my top 25 this week.
Oh no, I'm not going to argue on that one either.
Now tight ends, obviously, no Austin Hooper. So your next, I'm trying to see who the backup for Atlanta's is. Jaden. Who is this one? Jaden. I want to make sure I got it right. Jaden Graham is the backup. Not playing him. It's a bad matchup, and he's the backup. Sorry.
Yeah.
Carolina
Enough said.
playing Greg Olsen this week.
I'd play Greg Olsen. Roll him
Middle of
out
the
there.
road.
Yep.
He's hot and cold.
He's that fringe double-digit guy this week.
Yeah, I think
Points
he's
wise.
right there on that line of 9 to 11. Honestly.
Like I said, good tight ends this week is tough to find.
Right. Now, next, who we picking in this one? Atlanta or Carolina?
Carolina.
Carolina. And I believe Blackburn also picked Carolina. Make sure I got it.
We did.
Okay. Houston, Baltimore, in Baltimore, so it's probably colder, bad weather, not a dome game for the Houston Texans. Playing both quarterbacks, obviously.
Yes.
Running backs in this one. Are we playing we're playing Melvin Gordon, not Melvin Gordon, but Mark Ingram.
Ingram. It's still a tough matchup. I mean, Houston ranks third against them, so. But like you said, the weather's probably going to be bad. I think it's going to be a ground and pound game, which the Ravens love to run, so Ingram's still a good play.
I like Carlos Hyde in this game more than I do Duke Johnson.
I mean, I thought we were really going to argue this out. I do too. I like Hyde a lot more.
And the weather, I think, is the biggest thing. I think it's going to be a cold game. I think he's going to be the bruiser back, and I think they're going to have to run this ball at times to get in down the field.
Well, just like we said when we talked about Cleveland's wide receiving core, regardless that Duke might be the better back, Hyde is taking the advantage of his carries, just like Landry is doing with his touches. So I'd play Hyde all day.
Wide receivers in this one. Obviously, you're playing Hopkins. Are we playing Hollywood Brown this week? Great matchup. 29th. Houston is against wide receivers, and he has that boom bust, that Tyreek Hill-esque fantasy relevance to him where he could be a top 10 wide receiver for the week, or he could be in that 23 to 25 range.
He has to get the touchdown to be up there in the top 12.
Oh, yeah.
Because
he has to have that big play.
Unfortunately, Andrews is still the target monster there.
Yes, very much so.
But yeah, I think you can play him. I think his ceiling is high enough that I'd play him.
And then are we playing any of the other wide receivers for Houston? I mean, we got Kenny Stills is in there.
Kenny Stills is not a bad play. He's a big hit and miss.
He's a flex to me.
Right.
To me, he's in that same group as like Mohamed Sanu, the Parkers, Debo Samuel, Zach Pascal. They're all potential top 25 wide receivers, but you're probably looking at more in that 27 to 30 range.
I just see big numbers out of both quarterbacks, and so someone's going to be catching the ball for him.
Right. All right, tight ends in this one, not Darren Waller. It is Fells. Darren Fells, not Darren Waller. Darren Fells,
Yeah,
yes or no
wrong
in this one?
Wrong team. No.
Okay. Obviously, you're playing Mark Andrews. Even though it's a really bad matchup, he's still top 7 tight end on a given week.
I mean, listen, I know Cincinnati's not much to talk about, but they are tough against the tight end, and he lit them up again.
Yeah. So
Problem is, you can't Lamar. It's Lamar. That's all it is.
Lamar is the way to win this game, and Houston's defense is awful.
Yes.
And against quarterbacks. So, I mean, I think that both quarterbacks in this have top 7 potential this week. Both matchups.
I agree.
Although Watson's matchup is not favorable, I think that he's going to do enough to be fantasy relevant and a top quarterback this week. So, who are we playing? Who are we picking? Texans, Ravens.
Ravens.
Yeah, because it's a home game. If it was in Houston, I might give the slight edge to Houston, but not by much.
Ravens either way.
Okay.
I
Next,
just believe in Lamar right now.
Blackburn also picked Ravens. So, Cardinals, 49ers. It's in San Francisco, so it's not in the Dome this time. 49ers are coming off of a big loss. I mean, not like but enough that it kind of puts things in perspective because now Seattle is in the passenger seat. They're being Ubered around by San Francisco because they're right in the same car to the NFC West Championship right now. I'm just saying they're right there.
I agree with
They're
you.
a game behind or whatever now. So, and it is a bye week, so San Francisco needs to get that leg up on Seattle while they're on a bye. So Arizona, San Francisco, quarterback-wise, Kyler Murray, yes or no?
No. I know he had a good game against them last time.
It's a bad matchup.
Yeah, they're just tough. They're tough.
And it's a home game for 49ers. That's the big thing for me. That's the tipping scale. I think he's still in that, we won't call it, I think he's in that 13 to 14 range, but he's not a top 12.
No.
He's not a top 10 quarterback for sure this week.
And this offense is rolling right now. I mean, I know they're not winning, but they're putting up points. So.
And then on the flip side, Jimmy G, I think he's right around that Kyler Murray range. Yes, it's a more favorable matchup. I think he's just inside the top 10, but I don't think it's like you're feeling great that you're playing Jimmy G.
Jimmy G's not throwing the ball that well, but I agree. It's a great matchup, so he's a definitely streamable quarterback.
And he's proven that when he's got time to throw the ball and survey the field, he can be a viable fantasy quarterback. that was the problem against the Seattle defense is they put pressure, and Clowney and all these guys are in his face continually.
Right, and when George Kittle is out, which he's going to be out again this week, he just doesn't look like the same quarterback.
Right. And Cardinals defense is not good with pass rush.
No.
So, now Arizona running backs, David Johnson.
I'm not playing either.
If you
And
had to
actually-
play one, are you playing David Johnson or are you playing Kenyon?
Playing Kenyon.
Yeah, I know. It's a hard thing to say, but it's okay. We're all friends here at this table. Nobody judges. So
It's a true committee backfield, and when you're fumbling, what happens? The other guy gets it.
and Tevin Coleman, fire him up.
Yes.
San Francisco against this defense, Arizona's 20th against running backs. They're giving up just shy of 20 fantasy points a week. And Tevin Coleman is pretty much the main guy in that backfield now with Matt Breida missing 1 to 2 games.
I agree.
So, wide receivers in this one. Obviously, for Arizona, you're playing Kirk.
No.
No.
Kirk had a terrible game against them last time. I think you can play Kirk, but don't expect big numbers. I think he's a flex play.
Kirk or Larry.
Oh, I want Kirk.
Okay. And then on the other side for San Francisco, if Emmanuel Sanders is a no-go, do you play Deebo Samuel?
Yes.
Set it and forget it.
Yes.
All right. Are you playing?
He had 18 targets last 2 games. That's why I want Samuel.
Yeah. All right. And then tight ends, obviously George Kittle's not playing. Are we playing Dwelly?
Yes.
Okay.
Listen, Arizona's dead last against the tight end. They give up the most points. He did see 7 targets.
He did.
That offense wants to throw to the tight end, and Arizona doesn't want to guard him. So
No, they're giving up just shy of 15 fantasy points to the tight end. So
He's a
George Kittle
sneak-
would have feasted in
Yeah.
this game, but
listen, I understand if you don't play him, but he's definitely a DFS play.
all right. And on the other side, the Arizona tight end this week is, I want to make sure I got the right one. Charles Clay is
No.
the healthy one, so no go.
No.
All right. 49ers, Cardinals, who we picking in this one?
Listen, the spread is all over the 49ers, and I'm picking the 49ers. But if you want a let-me-down game here, I just think the 49ers, after that Monday night game, this could be it.
A hangover type
Yep.
effect to them?
But I still think the Niners win. But
All right.
wouldn't shock me if the Cardinals came out and just played well enough to win.
All right. I'm going to pick the 49ers as well, but I'm not expecting like a big blow-up game for the 49ers
Well, here's what's
points-wise.
So here's what's crazy when I looked it up, because I wanted to know what Vegas thought about this game. And San Francisco's favored by 10.5 points. I was amazed with the San Francisco 49ers being a little banged up right now, coming off a Monday night game, it was a great game, but I mean it could be an emotional roller coaster there. I could just see a letdown playing a lesser opponent in the Cardinals.
Right. All right. Bengals, Raiders. It's in Oakland.
Man, this game is really easy. We can wrap this up in like 2 minutes.
We probably should. All right. Playing Carr.
Yes.
Not playing Finley.
No.
Are we playing Josh Jacobs, obviously?
Real quick, top 5 back.
All right. I've got him as top 4. I'll take yours and
Hey,
raise
don't
you
one
one.
up me, huh?
On the flip side, Joe Mixon, yes or no?
Yes, 30 carries last week.
He is the offense now that they
Well,
have a young quarterback.
Yep, exactly, because they don't have a tight end.
Right. Wide receivers in this one.
I like Williams.
All right. Did I miss who? What? The wide receivers. Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd. They said that may or may not play this week potentially.
I don't.
It-
I'm not really. I'm not in favor of any of them
No, but
with Finley back there.
Darren Waller. Yes,
Yes, Waller comes back to
it's a bad
life.
matchup, but
He comes back to life.
all right. Defenses. Yes or no?
If you want to throw Oakland out there, I have no problem. Finley's god awful.
All right. Obviously, so then we're picking the Raiders in this one, correct?
Yes.
Let me make sure Blackburn didn't pick the Bengals. I don't think he did. No, he did not. Okay.
Who picks the Bengals?
Nobody. New England, Philadelphia. I think that this is going to be a game for. I think Philadelphia gets railroaded pretty bad in this game. I could be wrong.
Well, I'll
but
be honest with you. Neither offense has great. I mean, both of them are pretty strong. The defenses are. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I agree with you. I think Patriots are going to come out on top.
All right, Brady playing him this week.
Oh,
It's a top 12 potential. I mean, he's got a great matchup.
I'm gonna play. Yeah, I'll play Brady.
On the flip side, you're not playing Carson Wentz. Bad matchup. They're only giving up not even double-digit points to the
No.
quarterback.
No.
Running backs in this one, Sonny Michel and James White. Yes or no?
Man, I really don't like either one. If I had to pick, I think I'm going to probably stay with White.
Okay. And then on the flip side, Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard.
I'm on the Miles Sanders side. I've been on it all year. Yeah, I'm going to stay there now.
Okay. I mean, they're fourth. New
I'm
England's
pushing all the
fourth.
chips in. I don't think it's a great play by any
No.
means. So
All
we're
right.
going against New England here. But if I had to play one of the two, I'm playing Sanders only because he catches the ball.
All right. Wide receivers in this one, no D-Jacks. So it is Nelson Aguilar, who can't catch, and Alshon Jeffrey. So for the Eagles wise, are you playing Alshon Jeffrey in this one?
Oh gosh, if I have to.
You might have to. No. And then on the
like I said, if you have to, you're playing him. But if there's a better option, I would take one.
okay, and then on the flip side, New England, you're playing Julian Edelman with no issues.
Yes, give me Edelman. Sanu could be a sneaky play this week.
Could be. And then the tight ends, obviously, are you playing Zach Ertz or are you playing Dallas Goedert?
Well, that's
Bad matchups for both.
been the question all year. I'm going to go with Ertz. I think he slowly came back to life.
I think Goddard does it this week. I don't know why. Coming off of a bye.
You've
I
been
don't know.
you've been all over Goddard this year.
From the beginning, I just thought he's the better. He just seems to be the guy that they want to feature, but they just can't quit Zach Ertz.
It's funny. Philadelphia's whole team is, every position is, do you believe in it? That's it. Because no one knows what you're going to get at any of those guys.
I mean, truthfully, really look at it. If outside of Alshon Jeffrey, because there's no other really healthy wide receiver that's worth having in that side of the things, and Carson Wentz, because there's no Nick Foles, the running backs, there's two viable running backs. They're both playing good when given the opportunity. Same thing with the tight ends. Both tight ends are viable plays when given the opportunity. It's just who's going to be that guy for this week. It's who is.
The offense did not take a step forward like I thought it was going to. Because I really thought Carson Wentz would be a top play.
He has not.
No, he is.
He's been bad.
Yeah.
Defenses, are we playing either one of these? Obviously, you're playing New England's.
Right.
Or no?
I think you're definitely playing New England's. Philadelphia is a streamable option. Don't expect much.
All right, Patriots.
But I love Philadelphia the rest of the year.
This
FYI.
is true. This is when the schedule starts getting better for them.
Yeah, so you hold on to Philly's defense, and if they're on waivers for some reason, pick them up.
Patriots in this one, yes or no?
Yes.
All right, across the board then. Sunday night game, Bears, Rams. It's in the Coliseum there in L.A. It's a home game finally for Goff and McVay and that offense who has struggled on the road. And are we playing Jared Goff this week in a Sunday night game against that Bears defense that has been good? However,
as Blackman would say.
yes, that offense seems to play great in the Coliseum.
My answer is no. I want nothing to do with Goff.
Fair enough. I mean, it's their top 10 defense still. It is a home game. That's the only thing I can tell you. Goff and that offense seems to play better at home. That's the only thing I can hang my hat on in this for Goff, in favor of Goff. I'm not saying that I'm in favor of Goff.
Well, listen, good thing I don't hang my hats up because Goff is not playing.
Now, on the flip side in this one, are you playing Trubisky this week?
No, I don't care. He had a good week. Don't care. He's going to come back to life.
Running backs in this one,
Oh, gosh.
it's a plethora of them. You just don't know who's going to be the one. Todd Gurley?
Crap one's going to play, no offense, but I don't like any of them, but I like Todd Gurley the most out of all of them.
All right. Not a big fan of David Montgomery this week, huh?
No, I'm going to hinder a little expectation out of David. I mean, listen, he's still the back I'd rather play in Chicago. He's a good RB2 flex play for me.
All right, so let me ask you this. Both defenses are giving up around 16.5 fantasy points to the running back position. Are you more happy to play Gurley or David Montgomery this week? I mean, they're literally dead even. They're both seeing. I mean, Montgomery is getting more opportunities, but he's in a bad offense. Where Gurley is seeing less opportunities, but the offense is better.
I think Gurley's opportunity to get in the end zone's higher, so I'm going to take Gurley.
Just checking because they're about the same for me.
The fact that we're even having this argument,
It's
if you would have told
crazy.
me this in the beginning of the year, yeah.
You'd be like, you're crazy. All right, wide receivers in this game. Cooper Kupp, you have to play him. Even though it's a bad matchup, you have to play.
I listen, you got a bad taste in your mouth from last week. It won't happen again.
On the flip side, Allen Robinson playing him this week.
Yes.
That secondary seems to be trash for the Rams, whether they're home or away.
Yep.
It's the pass rush that's the key for that defense.
I like Allen Robinson a lot.
Now, are you happy to play? I just drew a blank. It's not Josh Reynolds. No, thank you. Robert Woods. Yes or no?
Yeah, I think he's a wide receiver too.
All right.
Maybe low end.
Now, on the flip side, you're not playing any of the Bears' tight ends, obviously.
No.
Are you playing Gerald Everett in a great matchup
I was
this
going to
week?
say, it's a good matchup. It's a stalling offense. They need a little life. I think you could play Everett.
And on a week that you may be dealing with some injuries and or bye week issues from the tight end position, this could be, I think, a good play this week. So, who are we picking? Bears, Rams. It's in L.A. That's the only. I'll put that out there just for people in general.
It's the Rams for me.
I think it's the Rams. I think they do enough. Now, this is the Monday night game, AFC West divisional game. Could be a
I'm kind of excited for this game.
Could be an for the Chiefs. It's not at home. It's at the soccer fields.
Yeah.
So, and they've shown that they can be beat,
Hey.
even with Mahomes
When they start
slinging
chanting
the ball.
listen, when they start chanting ole, 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 you just lose.
The big thing for me is Tennessee gave a blueprint of how to beat that offense. Yeah, you're going to give up. Here's the thing. And when you're playing the Chiefs, if any of you from the LA Chargers staff or players are listening to this, Mahomes is going to be good. Mahomes is going to put points on the board.
Yes.
The problem is you have to take advantage of the times that you get to him or the times that you have the opportunity to hit somebody for less than a first down or to take away as many big plays as possible.
Yes.
I know it's bad as it sounds and as juvenile, JV, Pee-wee football-esque as it sounds, keep them in front of you. If I would rather get beat for Mahomes throwing it 50 times down and beating me for 400 some yards, 5 touchdowns, but he didn't have a play over 20 yards.
Right.
I take that every day, twice on Sundays. That's what you got to do.
Well, good thing it's Monday.
Right. I'm just saying you got to take care of your business, and they're gonna. If they can beat you with big plays, they're going to. You're going to get worn out. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to be mad. So keep them in front of you. Hill's going to get his. Damian Williams, when he doesn't fumble the ball, he's going to get his. Mahomes is going to get his. Kelsey's going to get his. So defensively, from the Chargers, don't get angry. Don't get frustrated.
Well, and what's funny, and I would have thought this game. I have KC. I'm already going to say it, but only because they're running the ball again now. If they had that backfield that was a disaster a couple weeks ago, I thought the Chargers had a chance because they cannot defend the run.
Right.
They give up big plays. It's all day. And the problem is if Damian Williams is going and Mahomes is going and Tyreek Hill, there's really that's a recipe for disaster for the Chargers.
All right. So position-wise, playing both quarterbacks this week.
I like Mahomes. Rivers is a show-me game because this could be, if this does not go well for him, this means you might not play him the rest of the year.
Right. Melvin Gordon,
Yes.
Austin Eckler.
Yes.
Okay. On the flip side, Damian Williams.
I'm loving Damian, and here's why. Last 2 games, 31 carries, 202 yards, 7 targets.
And they healthy scratched
Yes.
McCoy last week, which sounds like they may do again.
Absolutely.
Wide receivers, Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen. Yes.
Love Tyreek Hill.
All right. Not Keenan Allen.
No, I like Keenan Allen. I think he showed last week he's coming back. I think he's gonna have I think he'll have a big week. I think he'll find the end zone too.
What about Mike Williams or Sammy Watkins? Because I think they're about the same.
I like them both. The problem is neither defenses I think is gonna stop anyone. So this could end up being a shootout. At
Playing
least I'm hoping
both
it does.
tight ends. Kelsey and Henry,
Yes.
no issues. Not playing either one of these defenses. I just think
No. Avoid the
So-
defenses. This should be another fun game to watch.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
I'm going to pick the Chargers in this one. Only because of the home team. That's the only reason. Because
You don't have to sell me.
KC seems to struggle when they're on the road.
I
From a
agree.
win-loss standpoint and overall just points helping. And I think that this defense could get enough pressure on him to make him a little bit less. I mean, Tennessee did it, and it came down to a few kicks. Basically, they put the game in the kicker's hand, and Buckner has shown that he cannot kick in big moments for some reason. So,
Like I said, my problem is that Kansas City is starting to run the ball again with Damian Williams, and if he goes off, I don't think the Chargers can win.
all right,
So I got Casey.
all right.
What did Blackburn take?
He took Casey as well. So,
Uh-oh.
lone wolf on this one.
Lone Wolf.
All right, that's all we got for today's show. I want to tell you guys thanks for joining us, whether it's the podcast, YouTube, or DATV podcast YouTube side. Make sure you hit the notification, subscribe, comment, reviews, whatever you guys want to do. We appreciate them. The hateful8ff.com, where you can find all our articles and apparel, which you can see the new shirts. We got hoodies as well. And then you can go to averagejonation.com to get your weekly projections as well as all the other little knick-knack things that we put in there for you guys. It's $10 a month, like we said, and just in time for your fantasy playoffs to be arriving. So then you can follow us on Twitter. My handle is at jpickle_th8ff. Blackburn's is at jblackburn_th8ff, and Trimboli's is at ftrimth8ff. And then the podcast handle, like we said, the Hateful 8ff. Sunday mornings, Q&A every week. We appreciate it, and we like helping you guys. And just so you know, we're just not pulling things out of like a hat and just saying, this guy. We really are looking at our stuff to give you guys the best help that we can, because if you're not successful, then you're not happy with us, and then you don't want our help anymore. So
Right. And things change every day. So if you need last-minute help, just let us know.
yeah. I think that's all we got for today. We appreciate it, and like we said, Blackburn will be back next week. Anything?
hope.
Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't enjoy his R&R and not take another week.
We'll give him one of those mango Maddox.
This is legit.
He'll be back.
Not gonna lie. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.